Okay, I'm under the weather. Got a sore throat and some congestion here. Um, it seems like it wasn't long ago where that happened before. I could feel it coming on when I was at work, and I was like, no, come on. And then, yeah. So, boy, this really messes up my plans, especially for the Nailsin Show on the Radio Misfits. But I got plenty of stuff for the video channel because I've got all this pre-recorded stuff that I'll be doing for Halloween. And I just uploaded the Sun King, which is a Superman parody. Like Night Knight is a parody of Batman, but that took some nods from the Adam West show, whereas this one takes nods from the radio show that they did for Superman way back when. If you know it, you'll understand the opening of it. But anyway, it says Nailsin ratings on the thumbnail card. Yeah, that's not supposed to be there. So sorry about that. As I said, under the weather. So this is going to be pretty quick. So the Flash second episode came about. A flash of the lightning, I think. Was it? I probably have that wrong too. And based on my ability to remember it through my hampered mind as I suffered this cold, it was probably not as good as the previous one, but because it has a lot of things that I think are weaknesses for the show. I never did like the Killer Frost storyline with the dual personalities, I guess, not multiple. But it's just kind of the silliness. It does play a part for the ending of the show that's pretty significant. But this idea that Frost has to become her own person and all this crap. Geez, I wish they would have just figured out a way to merge the two. It's just a part of her and all that, but they're going to go through with this crap. And it's played for laughs here, but the jokes just aren't that great. And they're all friends and they're getting along and all this sort of stuff. But a lot of these elements are necessary because these shows can't afford to be all superhero all the time because that stuff's expensive. So you gotta have either sitcom elements / soap opera elements and or nothing. So or a mystery of some sort. So you still have the recurring villain for Caitlin's friend from the previous episode. That's going on with his new dark matter powers that are out of control. And apparently he's created a zombie that's super powered, and that'll be a problem. But in the meantime, there was another little side problem that most of the team dealt with, and not so much the Flash, because he was elsewhere, of this woman who discovers her twin was evil and was framing her for crimes she didn't commit, all this stuff. And that's all well and good, but it's pretty formulaic at this point. And they deal with it okay, and Joe and his wife get to do some stuff here and all that, and that's all fine, well, and good. But the good stuff, and of course, with all the hype from last year for Crisis on Infinite Earths, boy, we get more of it here, where Barry wants to know as much as he can about what's going to happen, and he tries to travel back, or not back, to the future, to a time the day after he disappears. And he can't. There's this wall of antimatter. Wow, what's that doing there? Well, if you've read the comics, you know exactly what that is. And they actually do show scenes. Barry gets to see the future. He travels to the parallel world where Jay Garrick is, meets up with him, and lo and behold, Jay Garrick has a wife, Joan, and boy, she looks familiar. Yes, of course, she's the doppelganger of Barry's mother. And that, of course, is, predictably all very touching for Barry and all that. But they have a means by which he can project his mind into the future. And so they do it. And there he gets visions of what's to come. And a lot of it is very recognizable from the comic book series of what happens when the antimatter wave wipes out your universe. And they do this whole scene, and it's pretty good for what a television show can do. And it looks very much like that scene, which I can remember at the time, teenage Doug reading Crisis on Infinite Earths, and it seemed like a big deal, And it's just, wow, they're just literally erasing all their comic book stories and leaving nothing but a panel of white. And so that's all good stuff, and it's a lead up to it, which, based on their track record of their crossovers, can't possibly pay off, because they never do. They're always really bad. Man, I hope they can at least be adequate with this, and then that'll be good enough. But I'm afraid it's probably going to be stupid. But right now, with this tease here, it's pretty good. And so that sets up with Barry. He realizes that the Monitor has warned him that you're going to have to die. And of course, in the original Crisis on Infinite Earths, the Barry Allen Flash did die. That was the issue 8 of the series. And Supergirl also died. But Barry died, and he died alone, and no one knew where he was, and all this stuff. I don't know if they're going to recapture all of that. I'm sure a lot of it will just be their version of it. It can't possibly completely, adapt that story. That would be impossible. But with Barry dying in it, that's what they're leading to. The fact that they're just broadcasting it so much like this tells me that they're going to do something to where he doesn't die, and someone else will probably take his place. And that's how that works, because, look, The Flash is their most popular show. The rest of them are pretty inept and getting sicker as time goes by. Arrow is getting a send-off. I mean, it's CW, so I suppose they can keep these shows going for a little while longer, but I just don't see how they can keep Supergirl going. And Batgirl comes in and is no better. In fact, maybe worse. Because it's just so boring. I only watched the first episode. I don't know if I can bring myself to the second one. I've heard reviews of it. It sounds about as awful as I expected. Plus, plots that don't make sense and just stupid things in it. So, yeah, I don't think the Flash will be killed off. But there is the tease for this. And I'm sure they're probably peppering that out through the other shows. Probably most notably Arrow. I don't know. I don't watch them, and I won't. I guess I'll be watching them for the crossover, but But anyway, that's one of the stellar parts of this show. The episode is okay. It wasn't bad, but other than the big tease, not so great, because I get tired of the silliness and that sort of thing. But as I said earlier, it did play a role, because at the end, Barry knows his future. And he has a moment with them, and it's all silly, and they're all having a good laugh and chuckle about this. And for a moment, Barry is back and having fun with his friends, but then he realizes, yeah, this is all going to end. He can't enjoy the moment because it's already over for him, and that's all very sad for poor Flash. So there you go, Flash. Flash in the lightning in the flat. I don't know. The second episode of this season. So if you haven't checked it out, if you can, I think they stream it on the CW site and all that. You can watch it there. So thanks for watching and listening. Do check out my audio plays, radio plays, but this isn't radio, so I call them audio plays. I don't know what else to call them. And the latest being Sun King, and of course the Halloween themed one will be coming out. Every week there'll be another one until the month of October is over. So thanks for listening and watching. Please like and subscribe, and check out that link description below. That'll take you to my many stores that have plenty of goodies for you.